Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I just want to talk a bit about why I'm so big on living in the present moment, meditation, and also letting your thoughts flow through, as well as being quite against the idea of affirmations now. Not that affirmations are a terrible thing, but just in the grand scheme of things and with the energy that we are moving towards going forwards, you're going to see that this sort of stuff works less and less. Anything that you're doing in a way that is involving the ego is going to be less effective, is all that I can say, because we are moving into a time of divine feminine, and this energy is based around the heart and intuition. So it will be all about connecting the mind and the heart, and to do that, you need space. You need space between thoughts. You need gaps between your thoughts. You need meditation, times where you aren't constantly thinking. You have to be able to allow your thoughts to flow in and out. It isn't about necessarily stopping thought altogether. It's just about allowing your thoughts to keep flowing and not getting attached onto particular thoughts. And even if you do get attached to a thought, it's really just about letting go of that thought afterwards and not judging yourself for getting attached to that one thought. And the reason that this is so important, that this space in your mind is so important, first off, is so that your heart and mind can communicate. And the main reason this is important is because the logical mind, the mind that you use to intellectually understand things, to solve problems, it can only go so far. It has a boundary line of how far it can think, because it only has all of the pre-existing knowledge that it has. And this knowledge only goes so far when you are problem solving, because you're only going to ever be able to solve that problem to the degree that you've been able to solve problems before. And it can work for you, but you aren't going to advance in the same way as if you could take time and give space in the mind to allow a new thought to come in, one that is not conditioned by all of your previous thoughts before. Because really, when you are looking at any life situation, when you are trying to solve a problem or you're thinking about what's going to happen next, you're basing everything off of this set of beliefs, this set of ideas about you, about who you are. As in, all your identity really is just a buildup of different ideas and thoughts that created you. That's all you are. And so every single time that you have a new thought or you want to solve a problem, what you do is you end up filtering that problem you want to solve through all of the previous ideas of yourself. You have to filter it through everything to be able to solve that problem. And that's why with affirmations as well, people talk about having to convince the subconscious mind of this new idea. They have to convince the subconscious mind. That's them saying that they have to convince this conditioned version of themselves, because it's essentially saying that that new desire or idea has to pass through every single past version of you, all the way up to the version right now, just to be believed, just to be accepted. It has to go through every past idea of yourself to be accepted. So every past idea of yourself has to connect with it. It has to agree with it. So it's like you're breaking apart this consciousness to reform it back together with this new idea in mind for every level of yourself. That's why it takes so long to manifest something when you're doing it from the level of the ego. When you're affirming for something, you're breaking apart every old belief that's in the way of you receiving what it is you want, because you're saying it has to go through all these old beliefs. You're filtering it through that because you're saying this is who I am. And so you're not letting go of these past versions of you. So instead, if you can manifest from a point of presence, from a point of being here and now, you have no past versions of you. You have no identity, basically. There's no you, because all you are is just, once again, a buildup of beliefs and thoughts. It's just consciousness thinking that it has an identity based on a buildup over time of these things that you've held on to. So in the present moment, if you can give space in your mind by allowing, by not forcefully trying to think of, a way to solve your problem, not forcefully trying to manifest something, by just letting things pass through and living presently. And when I say living presently, this means to be here and now in each moment, as in use your senses to be here in the moment, feel things around you, listen to the sounds around you, be here in every moment as much as you can, and also just don't attach to the thoughts in your mind as often. Just as much as you can, allow the thoughts to just move in and out, because they're going to come in and out. That's just the way consciousness is. It's always flowing through you. So you're always going to have new things coming, going. But if you aren't controlling your thoughts so much, if you're allowing them to just be whatever they are and come in and out, that is when you receive these sort of downloads of inspiration, or you receive new desires, things that you hadn't thought of before. So maybe you're super focused on one thing that you think you really want, but then there's actually something way better for you if you were to let it come in for you. Because when you give space in the mind, it gives space for this higher being, which is the feminine energy, the heart, to speak through you. But if you're always speaking, it's like you're not giving any time for the heart to speak. And so your ideas will always be limited. Your abilities in life will always be limited. You will never be able to do things outside of the line or outside of the boundaries of what's already been done, because you're limiting yourself with thought. You're limiting yourself by trying to control. So the way that you start living outside the lines, and also a lot of people ask me how I receive downloads, the way you do this is by creating the space for it to come in. Think of it like you're having a conversation with consciousness, and having conversation means giving space for the other person to speak. You can't always be the one talking and expect to learn something or gain something from it, right? And that's not how you build a relationship. So there has to be space for ideas and things to come in. If there is a problem that you can't solve, you can ask a question, ask for help, and then sleep on it and go about your day, do other things, and that solution, it will come to you. That is the truth. If you have questions about the universe, ask them and then give time, go do other things. Once again, continue on, move forward, and it will come back to you, because everything's just a big circle. It always comes back around to you. So this is also why I say you can let go of your desire, because it's a circle. It will come back to you. Your past becomes your future if you're not holding on to it. If you're holding on to the idea, it's not going to pass around the circle, and it's not going to come back to you because you're grabbing onto it. Like I've said in my other video, if you're observing something in the mind, you're not giving it time to move, so it can't flow out of you and come back to you, because you're collapsing it in the mind. Like you're bringing it into particle form in the mind, and you're not allowing it, to collapse back into a wave again, so it can leave you and come back. So this is why being present is so, so important. And you can affirm, you can say affirmations, but it is a waste of time. It really is a waste of your time, because you're just going to repeat words over and over that it just means that you are going to hold on to that thought for longer without letting it flow through, meaning that you are not allowing anything else to come in as well. You are not allowing new ideas to come in during that time that you are affirming for that one thing. And you could have received that one thing just by simply letting it go. And people think that by letting it go, well, then all my negative beliefs come up and things never work for me when I let go of things. And again, this is not trusting. This is the ego speaking. It's saying that, you have this identity that needs to be dealt with, basically. So you believe that these negative thoughts coming up are still you, but you aren't the past versions of you. The negative thoughts that come up are coming from versions of consciousness that once existed within you. It's basically coming from, think of a line of versions of you, like every past version of you is behind you. And so when these negative thoughts come up, it's like gossip or whispers from these past versions of you that are unhappy and they are the ones speaking. It's not you having the negative thoughts, it's the past versions of you thinking these things, saying these things to try to get you basically to move backwards with them. So you want to just let it flow through you. Think of your negative thoughts as someone else speaking. It's not even you. So they cannot affect you unless you give them power, unless you give them the voice to speak. So if you give them your energy, if you let them control you, that's you giving them your power. So you're allowing that consciousness back into you, that version of you, and now it's going to be the one in the lead. So what you want to do is stay in the lead in the current moment. That's why staying present is so important, realizing that you are the version of you that's looking out in front of you. You are the version of you that's here right now in this moment, that's like at the edge of your body, basically, like looking out. Just be here now and realize that every other thought you've ever had about yourself, it's just a thought. Like, it's not who you are. You built an identity because you can remember these thoughts you had about yourself. You built an identity because you remember the beliefs that you've had, but it doesn't mean that's who you are. So being present is basically having thoughts flow through you in a way where you are not your identity. It's where you are not this human version of yourself. You're acting as pure awareness. You're just being here. You're just being awareness without any past identity, past ideas about you. It's just empty, basically. Empty space. And in empty space, these new ideas can arise, like new amazing things can come up in you. And desires, like things that you've wanted for so long, they can just manifest in you because you're giving space to allow it to happen. It needs space to be able to fill that space. If there is no space to fill, then your desire has nowhere to go anyways. It needs empty space. And if you are an empty vessel, if you are in the present moment and you're basically like transparent, like you don't have all these thoughts placed on you, you're not attaching to anything, then it makes it much easier for your desire to come in because you don't logically have to understand how it's going to come in, because the logical mind gets in the way and it says, no, I don't understand how that will happen. Well, this would have to happen first and then this would have to happen, but there is no cause and effect in the universe. There really is no exact cause and effect. It's only the logical mind that thinks that. So if you are existing as this empty vessel, like I said, being open to anything, you are completely like, you are the best receiver you can be because you're giving any way for this thing to come in. You're giving any possible way for a desire to come in because it doesn't have to follow a specific path, a specific route. It doesn't have to make logical sense. It could come up in the most random way possible because you're not placing any rules or limits on it. So this is why you want to get to the point where your mind can be clear, it can be calm. And I've told people over and over that meditation is the key to pretty much everything. That is how I got good at what I do, is because I meditated for pretty much 2 years straight, just on and off. I didn't force it every day. If I didn't want to, I didn't meditate, but I did it very often. And I just started to have more space in my mind, so I started to receive ideas and concepts, and people ask where I get my information. It comes from the universe. It's a direct download from the universe. And I will never be able to fully put into words what it feels like to receive these downloads, because people will ask me, they will say, well, how do you know it's not just you speaking? And it is me speaking, but as awareness, as consciousness, we, like, all of us have this ability to have things come in for us, but we always want to understand everything like in a logical sense. Everyone needs proof. They want me to make a video, showing manifestation in 1 second or something like this, and that's not how it works. You have to have faith in the unknown. It's like there's no real explanation, and I can never fully tell you guys how it feels until you get here yourself, until you understand it yourself, and are able to see, like, there's days when I can see my identity of Sam, like, acting, and I will refer to myself in the third person or something, and I will ask myself a question and then I'll immediately answer it. It's really funny. It's honestly funny because I guess you could say your identity you've built, it sort of acts on its own sometimes. So I can't really explain this feeling though, again, until you get to this point, but meditation is so important to manifestation, and I think everyone just wants a quick fix. They want it to be so easy, and it can be really easy. If you practice meditation a little bit every day and you get better and better and better at it, you will start to manifest things much faster in your life. You will start to even understand that there is a greater meaning to all of this. Like, manifestation just starts to even sound a little silly at a certain point, because you just understand that consciousness is just unfolding in front of you. It's flowing through you. It's just happening. And that's why all of the ideas of affirmations and manifest this 369 method and all of these things just feel very small, I guess you could say. It just feels very unnatural is the best way I can put it, because it feels so freeing to allow everything to pass through you. It feels freeing not to be clinging onto thoughts all the time, to have a clear mind. It is the best thing you could ever receive, is to have a clear mind, is what I would say. A lot of people want to manifest specific things, but if you could have a mind that isn't fighting you all the time, a mind that is relaxed and going through life having this sort of general good feeling every day despite anything that's going on, would you not want that more than just one specific thing? Because to have like a calm mind is something that I think a lot of people really would dream of, right? So if you want that, meditation is where it starts. That is the key, because meditation is cleansing. It is cleansing those past versions of you. It is clearing them out and opening up that energy again so that it can be used, so that that energy can return to you again. Because every time you clear a past belief, which again just happens naturally through meditation, through giving space in the mind, you don't really even need to let anything go. You can, though, if it helps you to release energy. That's totally okay too, but every time you release something, it comes back to you and you receive that energy, and it feels better and better the more that you release of yourself and the more you let go of yourself. And that includes desires, that includes all the negative things about yourself, like everything. You start to just let go pieces of you, because you understand that it all comes back to you. It's never really leaving you. And if you had a desire for something, it's not forgotten. It comes back to you. That piece comes back to you again. So, I hope this video is helpful to you guys. I really wanted to make this because I've just had so many comments arguing with me about affirmations working for them. And again, if it works for you, where you are currently at in your experience, then you can keep doing it. That's okay. Like, it's just what we're moving towards right now is a more natural way of being, and eventually affirmations will be a thing of the past, the so-called past, you could say, as we evolve. That's all I will say, is that they will not be here forever, and the way of the future is really just to be present in the moment. I almost said the way of the future is the way of the water, like the Avatar movie. And remember, everything happening, every movie, everything in our experience is a prediction, an idea of what is happening next as the universe unfolds. So that movie is actually a really good example of kind of how we're going to be existing in relation to consciousness and flowing with it, naturally flowing along with it, not working against it, being more one with everything. So I'm going to end the video here, but let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. I was actually not planning to even record this video, so this video was a spontaneous act. This was something that came out of space in my mind. I was just sitting here meditating, and then I decided that I wanted to make this. So I hope, again, that it helps someone, and I will see you guys in my next one. Right? Bye!